join in on the fun and grab your glue gun. It's the Preppy Crafty Girl Show.
Hey guys, it's Jonna, the Preppy Crafty Girl, and I am here for Trinket Tuesday, and we are going to make a little coffee cup. I had a couple people ask to show how to make a coffee cup, and I am going to do mine in this yellow. I'll have a whole list below what I'm using and what you can use. And so if you want to make your own cup, choose your own color. I prefer the oven bake Sculpey Soufflé. It's a really nice soft oven bake clay, and that is what I prefer working with. Or I will use the FIMO. It's called Premo, and that is another one that is super soft. So I'm going to use the smaller one because I'm going to try to use it up. And then I use this Gloss Glaze by Sculpey. This is not to go into the oven. This is after you're done baking it. Then you use the Sculpey Gloss Glaze to give it a nice finish and cure, just kind of cure it. So that is that. And then to make my coffee, I use the liquid gel. It's oven hardening, so this goes in the oven when you cook your little mug here in the oven. And then I mixed it in with some brown chalk pastels to get that really nice coffee color. And then I also have a white one that I made. Whoops. I need to mix in some more of this liquid gel. It looks like it's pretty rough there. But I mixed the white in with the liquid and then make a frosting, or not a frosting, but like the milk froth. So that's what I used to make the milk froth, if I'm going to do that. You can also use it for frostings. I've made like little donuts, which I may make a donut one day for Trinket Tuesday. If you guys want to see a donut, I'll make a donut. And because they're a lot of fun. I don't know if I have my donut that I made. I've made s'mores. I've made campers. I've made all kinds of stuff. So I used to love working with clay. It's just very satisfying, and when you're working like in miniature, and it's a lot of fun. It does take some skill, but the more you do it, the better you get at it, as with anything, right? Okay, so I'm going to, I just eyeball how big I want it, but I have a measuring ruler in here somewhere. Hold on one second. So I have this little like case. So I use the Faber-Castell chalk. These are the soft pastels by Faber-Castell. That's what I use. And I just take this, like this blade, which is sharp, so you have to be careful that you're holding it, in the right place. And then I will just take it and I'll scrape off some right into the clear and mix it. And you can, as many colors as you have, you can, make up all kinds of frostings and things like that with that. But I do have a ruler, so I can tell you how big I'm gonna make the ball for the cup. I've made these so many times, I don't even really measure that much anymore, but so I'm just going to work the clay. Now you want really clean hands because you don't want anything transferring over into the clay. So I wash my hands. I'll wipe my hands even in between. If I'm going between colors, I will wipe it. This needs to keep working because it's got a little bit of cracking. See, I think I'm going to add a little more in there. Okay. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. I want to make a latte cup. Not a latte cup, but a cappuccino cup. Okay, so this ball right here is going to be, it's not quite, it's about 3/4 of an inch. If that helps you. And I'm just going to start to rotate, put light pressure this way and start to rotate it around. Again, I'm just kind of getting the size that I want. And then I'm going to take my tool here and my forming tool, and I'm going to go around and start to round, just lightly start to round the edge there. Oops. Might flatten it out a little bit. Get it nice and round. And then I'm just going to start working the tool in the center and turning so that I can get it kind of even. I may even go in with a little smaller tool. And I'm just gonna, so I want to make sure that it's even this way. And then I need to now press in this bottom. I'm just going to kind of pinch it in. Pinch it in, work it around. And I need to, you can, okay, so I don't know if you can see this, but I've got like a little divot here. So I'm going to take this tool, and this side's a little bit fatter, a little bit thicker. So I'm going to pull and drag some over to the other side, and that's going to give me the same size all the way around. So I've got that there. Believe me, when you get the handle on and then you get the coffee in there, it will start to take shape. It's making me want coffee. Okay, when I go to do the handle, I take a little piece. I'm going to make a cane. They call this a cane. A lot of times when you're working with beads and you want to do different colors in a bead, you'll have these long, you'll work with long canes. I just roll mine back and forth. They do have a cane rolling tool. I don't have a cane rolling tool, so I just use my hand, and it works fine for me. All right, so I kind of guesstimate because you can always cut it off. So after you get the top part on. But what I'm doing here is I'm going to just attach it and then curve it around and make my handle the way I want it. So that's kind of sitting up a little too high. And get it there. And I just make my handle the way I like it. I've got it up here on the top part. I'm just going to take this tool and I'm going to start to press, and you're just going to meld it in. In fact, I think I need a little bit smaller. Let me get my smaller tool. This one. Yeah, and all you do is press it and start to meld it in. So it melds in there. And now I'm going to take the little knife and I'm going to cut it. There. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to press, 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 press. It's very light. You're doing everything very lightly. Hardly any pressure because you don't want to indent too much. So then I have that. I'm going to take my bigger ball and I'm going to smooth things out. on the bottom. And got my handle, but I've mashed in this part. And I see a little black fleck. Again, because I'm going to make this a charm, I need to make sure that it looks good on all sides, top, bottom, sides. Again, just keeping it, kind of rotating it again, pressing down. Line came from. Okay, there's that. Let's get this back up going again. I need to widen that out a little bit. And then I've got my little cappuccino cup. A little fiddly when you're starting out. Okay, let's get this thinned out now and make it a little wider on the top. So I'm just kind of working my tool. I'm pushing between my finger, the tool, and the clay in the way that I want it to go. So see how thin I've gotten that now, working it that way. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And the same thing right here. Straighten out that. And I got a nice top there. So, and that's going to be my little cappuccino mug. Right here. If you have a little frosting tool that when you make the rose petals, that's another thing you could have in your arsenal for this. It works out great if you do have that. Okay. So pull some this way and kind of flatten the top so it's even. I'm checking it all the way around. A little dent there. And yeah, doesn't have to be perfect. It's handmade. It's not machine made, right? That's what makes it kind of fun. So, okay. Once I have that, I'm going to go ahead and take the so-called coffee, and I'm just going to put some right down into the cup. Swirl it around a little bit. This is making me want. I've made hot cocoa too, and made little tiny marshmallows. You have to be, I'm just using a little wood toothpick to kind of spread it where I want it. And let's see, I'm want to make some white. Let me look right here, see what I got in here. No, that's all gone. That was the donut glaze. So what I need to do here is I just need to add some clear to this white and get it a little bit less goopy. And I saved my coffee stirring sticks because these work great for this. So if you have any plastic coffee stirring sticks around your house, this works really well. See how that just starts to get all soft again? Just by adding the liquid. So if it's starting to get a little thick, just add a little bit of the liquid to it and it'll thin right back out again. Okay, so let me get this thickened up, stirred up. Oops. Goodness gracious, I'm getting it everywhere. Okay. Now I'm going to take a drip and I want to just do a little kind of swirl in the center like so. And then I'm going to take my toothpick and I'm going to just pull it down the center like this and kind of swirl the coffee into it. And I made a little swirl. Okay, so with the magic of television, I am going to be right back. Let me get this sealed up really well. Take it all off the edge where I dripped it. I'm going to go pop it in the oven. And I have a little toaster oven that I use just for clay. I'm going to use my blade and I'm going to go right up underneath it like so. I've got a piece of parchment paper here. I'm just going to cut a little bit out of it. I don't need all this in my toaster oven since I'm only doing the one item. And I will slide it off of that and put it back onto the parchment and I will bake it. And I do like the product says, the product is, let me see, you don't microwave it, do not over bake it, and you bake it at 275 and it is 30 minutes per 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters. Okay, so I'm going to go pop that in the oven and I will be back. Okay, so my cappuccino is ready in my yellow cappuccino mug, my nice big mug here. And I just love that the swirl kind of came out like a little heart. So that was kind of fun. I am just going to do the final glazing on here using the Sculpey Gloss Glaze. And I'm just using a little paintbrush, just a cheap one. And this washes up with soap and water, so I don't have to worry about. But I do keep my paint brushes separate from my clay paint brushes, just in case. I don't want anything to transfer over because I do want this to come out clear. So I hope you are enjoying this series. I hope you are also playing along with Trinket Tuesday and showing me the little things that you've been making or collecting, or that you have, you know, little things around the house that you love and that you display. I am linking people's channels when they participate into a playlist on my channel. You can go to my playlist and you can see not only my Trinket Tuesdays, but other people's. I'm trying to get better at linking people. It may take me a little bit, but I am getting better at it. So I'm just going to do the bottom, and oh no, that's good. I thought it was a little hair off the brush. And yeah, so this will take about 24 hours to cure, and it'll be ready to good to go and put it on a charm on a junk journal. So there you have it. I'm going to put this on a piece of parchment paper, and cheers. See you guys later.
The preppy crafty girl living in her crafty world. She loves creativity.